into the final couple of games of the season over the Championship, and we still got some major matters set to be decided. But what's going to happen this coming weekend? Who's going to take advantage? Who's going to be happier? We'll take a look at it. All of it next. Once again, another prediction video. Today we're looking forward to match day number 45, I believe, over in the Championship, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe button, keep banging up to all things Rovers related, Championship related, world football related. We got it all here, boys, under one roof. Of course, we know Fulham are back. That's right, they're there, but they're not there as champions just yet. Still got a small matter of Bournemouth hanging over the shoulders, of course, who could take the title if they win out, and of course Fulham don't pick up any points, of course. But also joining that, the little damp squib of affair is Nottingham Forest. They can actually squeak into the top two heading into the final game of the season. Of course, we'll cover that and more in just a second. A big shout out to my VIPs. They're the patrons, guys. You know who you are, you sexy sons of bitches. But of course, if you are interested in helping out the channel, check the link down below, patreon.com/Rovers. But anyway, let's get into it. Got a lot to talk about, of course, because Rovers won for a change. And would you Adam believe it? Of course, and that's right. Of course, these were the games. Of course, a bit of an extended match week last week, but of course, we're back for the final two games of the season. Penultimate full fixture list. Of course, we will be there for the playoffs as well. Don't worry about that. Maybe we'll be there in person. Who bloody knows? I don't know. Bournemouth, they did pick up a draw against Fulham, of course, denting Fulham's hopes there, and of course, keeping Bournemouth moving in the right direction. Birmingham, 2-2 draw against Millwall in the end there, 2-2, on with the 1-0 win. Derby did lose at home to Bristol City. Huddersfield spanked Barnsley, their 2-1 win in the Yorkshire Affair. Hull City, 3-0 win over Reading. Job done as well. Luton just a point against Blackpool. Of course, Peterborough did lose to Forest, only just though, but this was a shocker right here. Look at that 4-1 win. Actually went for Preston, backed them, of course, but unfortunately, the real Rovers showed up, or is it? Meanwhile, Sheffield United with the 1-0 win of Cardiff dented our hopes of getting very, very close to the top six. Stoke City, of course, with a 1-0 win over QPR. Swansea City with a 1-1 draw against Borough. Big point now for Borough on the road. Pretty much ending QPR's hopes, I think. I think they are out. I think mathematically they could still catch us. Or make it. They need to score 10 in each game. West Brom, of course, a new draw at Coventry. Barnsley with a 2-0 loss against Blackpool. But Swansea City with a 3-3 draw against Bournemouth. It was 3-0 up there. That could have been absolutely catastrophic. But another point moving Bournemouth in the end. Big result here for Forest there. 1-0 win for Fulham. They're closing in. They are closing in. And Middlesbrough with a monstrous win for Cardiff to move them 2 points adrift of the playoffs. There it is in all its glory. Rovers down to 8th now. But of course, within touching distance, of course, a win for us. And of course, a defeat for Sheffield United. We could actually be in the playoffs into the final game of the season. That would be absolutely fantastic in one regard, but absolutely mental for me in another regard. Because I've been saying I would try and be here for the playoffs if we do. I haven't got a ticket yet, guys. I haven't got a ticket. Got no reservations. I've got nothing. I've not taken time off. I thought it was over. And now we are potentially, if everything goes our way, Saturday we could actually be in the playoffs, heading into the final game against Birmingham. No disrespect to Birmingham, but I do anticipate a strong fight that final game of the season. But it could be a massive confusion and cluster and panic stations for me to try and to achieve those things and make the players, because you just don't know. Imagine not being there in a situation where we could potentially go to the promised land. But anyway, we've got a lot of snookers to be happening. We've got to hope Sheffield United lose. We've got to think about Middlesbrough. We've got to think about Millwall and Luton, and of course there's a lot of still batshit craziness. But of course, we will be here this weekend. We'll be watching Bournemouth go to Ewood Park, and of course we'll have a watch on. We'll be live, and of course we'll have a look at what goes on elsewhere, and we'll just see what happens. Anyway, down the foot, of course, we know Barnsley, Derby, and Peterborough, they're gone. They're toast. They're out of it. Of course, Reading, Birmingham, Cardiff will be building for next season. But the race for the playoffs is between, realistically, Millwall, Rovers and Middlesbrough. They're the teams outside it. Of course, Sheffield United and Luton Town are the spots that are available, 5 and 6. Luton Town do have a sticky wicket on the horizon, so they'll need to be strong this weekend. Sheffield United got a real tricky running again and a win this weekend, and it's pretty much, I wouldn't say it's over, but of course. All right, then, folks, take a look at how you guys got on there, shall we? Of course, kicking on out of it is Stoke City with 13 bins there, boys. Well done to you, sir. Maybe you could be the guy for the next season. Could be the predicting king for next season. Well done to you for that. But of course, what about the overall grand scheme of things? I'm trying to look for Stoke City. There he is down there, 23rd. Of course, this is from January onwards. He's already up to 23rd. If he's been there the whole season, he would have been up there challenging Shane O'Donnell, of course. 124 points on the board. 37, of course, in second, with Hans Wurst in third right now. That's, of course, the mini leaderboard from, of course, January onwards. We'll have the master leaderboard the next time you see me, of course, heading into the final game of the season and the playoffs. Of course, if you want to get involved, of course, you can still get involved. Cardiff Championship is free. There's a link in the description. Get in amongst it, have a bit of fun, and see if you can outpredict this guy, of course, heading into the final games of the season. Now, of course, this is the final home game for Rovers. Of course, final home games for a lot of the guys here. But anyway, let's get into it. And we're actually going to kick it off with the game of the day, really. The game of the weekend, of course, is Rovers at Ewood Park up against Bournemouth with Keith Stroud, who was born in Bournemouth, a Luton Town fan, refereeing this game, which doesn't smell fishier than this. So don't back the Rovers on this one, I don't imagine. But anyway, this is it. Boils down to this. Lose this, pretty much we're out. Of course, technically, then we could still be, depending on what goes on with, of course, QPR and Sheffield United. But anyway, let's jump into the event. Of course, have a look at the game over at Ewood Park. Of course, now the place of the 9 times 2004, 3 wins for Blackburn. Of course, 5 wins for Bournemouth and 1 draw. Of course, just 1 6 for Blackburn right now. 33% form against the Bournemouth side. Just 1 6, also 50% form for them. They've hit the shitters at the wrong time, drawing too many games at this moment. Of course, last time around though, over at Ewood, it was a 2-0 win for Bournemouth. That was back in April 2021. The reverse fixture, of course, at Bournemouth this campaign was a 2-0 win for Rovers back in December when we're playing electric football. Can we get that electric football back? Of course, Rovers do come into on the back of that 4-1 win over Preston, of course, on the road. Meanwhile, of course, Bournemouth that 3-3 draw against Swansea. But they've been drawing against some big zingers here. Fulham, Swansea, they are decent teams on this one. The odds for this one, 15-8 is your Rovers, of course, 23-10 is your draw, and 6-4 is your away win. That's Bournemouth here. Tight, airtight. I'm actually backing my boys here. 2-1 win for them. Of course, I'm backing them, of course, which means that they're going to lose. So don't think about it too much, but we'll move on anyway. Blackpool up against Derby, of course. Dead rubber, really. Derby down. Of course, Blackpool just playing for next season. 14 times they played since 2007. 4 wins to Blackpool, 9 wins to Derby, and 1 draw. Just 1 defeat in the last 5 for Blackpool right now. 50% form over the last 6. That's 1-2 lost to and drawn to. Up against the Derby counter side, of course, building for next season. 2 wins in the last 6. 42% form for them heading into this match. That's around over at Bloomfield Road. It was a 1-0 win for Derby back in October 2014. The reverse fixture, of course, they won for Derby at Pride Park back in December 2021. So Derby unbeaten over the last 5, picking up 5 wins on the bounce against Blackpool. Can they make it 6th? We'll see about that. Blackpool though coming to on the back of that 2-0 win over Barnsley. Derby though losing to Bristol City last time round. The odds coming at you though, 11-10 on is your Blackpool, 13-5 is your draw, 3-1 is your Derby County on the road. Going to go with a 2-0 win for Blackpool here, ending the streak. Big win for them to stop Derby making 6 on the bounce. Next, of course, Bristol City up against the Hull City, of course. Another dead rubber down the foot of the table, of course. I played each other 21 times in 2004, 7 wins to Bristol City, 6 wins to Hull, and 8 draws, of course. Just 1 defeat though in the past 6 games for Bristol City. They're actually hitting form at the right time, 58% form. Up against the Hull City side, who won 3, lost 3 at the last 6, 50% form. Actually won 3 of the last 4, so pretty good form for Hull City and Shotters boys. Last time around though, over at Thrashton Gate, it was a 2-1 win for Bristol City back in July 2020. Of course, the reverse fixture at the KCOM was a 2-2 draw back in December 2021. Bristol City unbeaten against Hull over the last 6, pick up 3 wins and 3 draws. Bristol City though pick up a 3-1 win over Derby County. Last time around, Hull with a 3-0 win over Reading. Last time around, the odds coming at you though, 6-5 is your host, 4-5-2 is draw, 11-5 is your away win. That's Hull City. Going to go, of course, they draw here, right down the middle. Of course, it's difficult to call between Hull City right now because they're grinding out results, as are Bristol City. So another unbeaten check of the collar for both of these sides heading into this one. Cardiff up against Birmingham City over in Wales. And of course, now these two sides have played each other 21 times since 2006. 9 was for Cardiff, 4 was for Birmingham, and 8 draws, of course. Cardiff, though, coming to this on the back of a 3-2 win over Birmingham last round over in Wales. That was back in December 2020. The reverse fixture, of course, a 2-2 draw at St Andrews back in December 2021. Cardiff unbeaten against Birmingham over the last 6, pick up 4 wins and a couple of draws as well. Meanwhile, Birmingham picking up a 2-2 draw against Millwall. Cardiff with a 2-0 loss against Middlesbrough. In fact, back-to-back games. In fact, 3 games without scoring a goal for Cardiff. They've hit the squids at the wrong time, of course. Coming at you, though, Cardiff 21-20 for the victory, 25 is draw, 11-4 is your away win here. That's Birmingham City. Going to go with 2-1 win for Cardiff here to take it to the house. Wow, indeed. Coventry City, of course, still mathematically in it up against Huddersfield Town. Of course, over at the Rico, played each other 3 times in 2020, and all 3 of them have ended up as draws. Of course, Coventry, though, coming to this on the back of a 1-2 lost to and drawn to, 50% form for them up against Huddersfield side, who are secured in the playoffs. They're extending the season for at least 2 games. They're unbeaten in the last 5, 75% form heading into this match. Last time, of course, over in Rico as a 0-0 draw back in December 2020. The reverse fixture at the Macau Pine John Smith's Kirklees was a 1-1 draw back in December, way back when. Coventry, though, pick up a 0-0 draw against West Brom. Of course, back-to-back games now without a goal. Huddersfield coming to this on the back of that 2-1 win over Barnsley, of course. Looking at the odds for this one then, shall we? We've got Coventry 20-20 for the victory, 11-5 is draw, 2-1 is your away win. That is, of course, Huddersfield Town. I'm backing, of course, a draw here. Again, Huddersfield don't give a shit. They're through. Coventry season is over here. Barnsley up against Preston, of course, over at Oakwell. Of course, Barnsley have dismissed their manager. I don't even know his name. It was such a thing. So who's going to come in and take over the reins for Barnsley? Of course, played each other 26 times, these two sides since the year 2000, 10 wins apiece, 6 draws, of course. Barnsley, though, haven't won the last 7, 17% form up against the North End side, of course. Back-to-back games now, losing for them. 42% form for Preston, of course. Last time around over at Oakwell was a 2-1 win for Barnsley back in December 2020. The reverse fixture, of course, a 2-1 win for Preston back at Deepdale back in December, aka match number 22. Of course, Blackpool did beat Barnsley 2-0 last time round. Preston did get thrashed, stomped on, embarrassed last time around with a 4-1 loss at home to the nearest rivals, Blackburn Rovers. Of course, that's right. And the odds for this one, though, coming at you, Barnsley are actually 21-10 for the victory, 65 is your way win. That's the Nobbers, and 5-2 is your draw. Another defeat for Preston here, of course. Could Lowe be under better pressure as the season comes to a close? Probably not. 1-0 win for Barnsley to end the season strongly, give their paying faithful something to say goodbye to in the end. Next, of course, we have Fulham up against Luton Town. Here you go, zinger, zinger, chicken dinner on Monday. Gonna have to watch this game, aren't I? Just in case. 4 times they played since 2006, 2 wins for Fulham, nothing for Luton, and 2 draws, of course. Fulham, though, just 1 win in 5, 42% form for them. Up against the Luton Town side, of course, just 1 defeat at about 6, 58% form for them as they head into this game over at Craven Cottage. Last time round, though, at Craven Cottage was a 3-2 win for Fulham back in October 2019. The reverse fixture, of course, a 1-1 draw at Kenilworth Road back in December 2021. Of course, Fulham did lose, though, to Nottingham Forest last time around. Of course, Luton with a 1-1 draw against Blackpool last time around as well. They want 100 points, though, don't they? 2-1 on is your Fulham, of course, 65 is short, 11-2 is your away win. That's Luton Town. They're not there yet. They need a point, I think. Going to go with a 3-0 win. Big win for Fulham here. And, of course, that's not disrespecting Luton. Of course, these are the champions elect here. Mitrovic got 41 goals. They're gonna be there. They want more. He wants more goals. They want more points. But of course, Luton are shithouse merchants. Of course, check out the Forest score, of course, not too long ago as well. So take that from what you will. Middlesbrough up against, of course, where are you? Middlesbrough? I can't even... Oh, Stoke, that's right, Stoke City. Alrighty, I've got to go find you now. I've got to go find you in the rabbit's nest. So let's get into this one then, shall we? Of course, Middlesbrough at the Riverside up against a tricky Stoke City, of course, coming at you as well on... April the 30th. Now, these two sides have played to the quarter mile 17 times since 1993. 7 wins for Middlesbrough, 6 wins for Stoke, 4 draws. Just 1 6 over Middlesbrough right now 33% form up against the Stoke side, who've won 3 of the last 4, 67% form. They've also hit form at the wrong time of the season, of course. Last time around, though, Middlesbrough 3-0 win over Stoke back in March 2021. Of course, the reverse fixture at the Bet365 was a 0-0 draw back in December 2021. Stoke, though, haven't scored a goal against Middlesbrough. In fact, they've only scored 1 goal in the last 4 games against Middlesbrough. Goodness gracious me. Meanwhile, Stoke coming to on the back of that 1-0 win over QPR. 2 clean sheets in the bounce up against the Middlesbrough side, of course, picking up a 2-0 win over Cardiff last round. The odds, though, for this one, we've got basic odds. The basic odds go in favour of Middlesbrough here. They are favoured to win this one at home at the Riverside. Of course, a win, and they could be in. Of course, 2-1 win for them. Of course, over Stoke. Of course, can they make the playoffs? We'll have to see about that. That suggests they're getting a little bit closer. Millwall, then, of course, up against Peterborough. Of course, Millwall also in the mixer for the players. They must beat Peterborough. Of course, they should beat Peterborough at the Den. Of course, 14 times they played since 1993. 7 wins for Middlesbrough. Sorry, 7 wins for Millwall, 5 wins for Peterborough, and 2 draws, of course. And Millwall coming to this on the back of just 1 defeat at the past 6, 58% form up against a Peterborough side who've won 2, lost 2, and drawn 2 over the last 6, 50% form, but they've gone back down to League One. Coming at you, though, last time round at Millwall was a 1-0 win for Millwall back in February 2017. That was in League One. Meanwhile, the reverse fixture at Peterborough was a 2-1 for Peterborough back in December 2021. Can they do a double over Millwall? We'll have to see about that. Meanwhile, Millwall with a 2-2 draw against Birmingham last round. Of course, Peterborough with a 1-0 loss against Forest last round. The odds coming at you, though, for this one, we have 29 on is your Millwall, 7-2 is your draw, 6-1 is your long shots. That is, of course, Peterborough. Going to go with a 1-0 win for Millwall here again, just like Middlesbrough, keep themselves right in the thick of things into the final day. Next, of course, we have Reading up against West Brom, of course, is getting the deep end over the Matchday. That's right. Paul Ince has done an okay job, of course, 50% form right now for Reading up against the West Brom side with Stevie Bruce, who's done average, not really great. 1 win in the last 4 for them, 42% form, of course. Anyway, of course, over the last, since 1994, of course, they played each other 25 times. Of course, 8 wins for Reading, 10 wins for West Brom, 7 draws, of course. West Brom, though, coming to this on the back of beating Reading in Reading last round back in February 2020. The reverse fixture, of course, at the Hawthorns was a 1 win for West Brom back in December as well. So West Brom unbeaten against Reading over the last 5, picking up 3 wins and 2 draws. Of course, Reading, though, did lose to Hull last time around, and West Brom also drew with Coventry last round. In fact, West Brom have gone in back-to-back games now without a goal. Coming at you, though, the odds for this one, we've got, what do we have on here? Where are we? Against Reading, 90% for the victory, of course, 12-5 is draw, and 7-5 is your away win. That is, of course, West Bromwich Albion. Going to go with a 2-1 win for Reading here. Another win for Paul Ince. Could he be at the helm next season? Probably not. I don't think they're going to be convinced about that. Fresh start and all that kind of jazz. I just think they'll want something new. Next up, of course, we have Nottingham Forest up against Swansea City. Basically, Forest have got to win out, and they could be top 2. They played each other 23 times, 2005, 7 wins for Forest, 7 wins for Swansea, and 9 draws. Just 1 defeat though in past 6 for Forest right now. 83% form up against the Swansea side, also unbeaten in the last 6. However, drawn 4 in the bout, 67% form, of course, heading into this. This is the Stevie Cooper derby, formerly managed Swansea, of course, now managing, of course, Nottingham Forest. Of course, last time around over in Forest, of course, City Ground was a 1 win for Swansea back in November 2020. Meanwhile, the reverse fixture, of course, a 4 win for Forest in Wales back in December 2021. When you think about this, when I look at this quickly, I think Stevie Cooper has won all of them since he's managed them. I think he's won the games in Wales as Swansea manager, and he's also I don't think he was manager. He was manager of Forest back in December. So Stevie Cooper owns this result. He should win this one, shouldn't he? Heading into this, of course, Forest Blue Committees on the back of 1, 2, 3 clean sheets on the bounce. Up against the Swansea side, of course, of John 4 on the bounce. Goodness gracious me! Coming at you though, the odds for this one we have a 20-11 on is your Forest, 10-3 is draw, and 90-4 is your way. I'm back at Forest here too. A 3-0 win for them. Stevie Cooper owns this game. Of course, he's going to show his old boys what they're missing out in the end. But this is, of course, the deciding game. It is for a QPR up against Sheffield United. That's right, coming at you at the King Prince Foundation Stadium, aka Loftus Road. Now these two sides have played 33 times in 1993. 9 was for QPR, 30 was for Sheffield United, and 11 draws, of course. Just 1 minute 6 for QPR right now. Up against the Sheffield United side, of course, 1-2, lost 2, and drawn 2 over the last 6. 50% form for them. Of course, it's just been announced Warburton will be done as QPR manager at the end of the season. Will he go out with a bang, of course? Will he go out denting Sheffield United's hopes? Of course, a win mathematically keeps QPR in the mixer. Of course, they need major goal swings across the board. But, of course, they cannot, what they must do is win today on this game against Sheffield United to keep their slim, very, very marginal, fractional hopes in the mixer as well. But anyway, of course, coming at you last time around over at QPR was a 2-1 win for Sheffield United back in August 2018. The reverse fixture, of course, at Brom Lane was a 1-1 win for Sheffield United, of course, back in April 2022. Of course, the last 4 occasions Sheffield United have beaten QPR quite convincingly over those as well. Just 1 defeat in the past 6, of course, in the grand scheme of things. That was the last defeat was at QPR. 1-0 win for QPR back in October 2017. Of course, QPR though picking up a 1-0 loss against Stoke. And of course, Sheffield United with a 1-0 win over Cardiff last time around. Of course, a win for Sheffield United will put them heading into the last game of the season in the top 6. It will be them. They'll be in their hands. It's already in their hands anyway. But of course, the defeat would actually open up the wood floodgates. 16-5 is your QPR. 13-5 short. 2017 on. Sheffield United are overwhelmingly favourites here. I'm going back the surprise here. 2-1 for QPR to open it up. Open it up for Rovers. Open it up for Millwall. Open it up for Middlesbrough. But of course, I am a little bit deluded. But that's of course the state of play there. We're going to wrap it up. Of course, with another zinger. Of course, this week it'll be Bournemouth up against Forest. Of course, that's early next week. And again, it could have a bearing. Where the fuck are you? Oh, it's right there, aren't they? Bollocks to you. Let's go here. Of course, it will have a say of the automatic spots. Basically, again, I think if Bournemouth do beat Rovers, I don't think there's much in the mixer for this. But anyway, of course, these two sides, Forest will go to Bournemouth at the Vitality on whatever we like, 3rd of May. Played for the 14 times 2005 was a Bournemouth, 4 points for Forest and 5 draws. Of course, just 1 minute 6 for Bournemouth right now. Heading into this, of course, Forest just 1 defeat past 6, 83% form. Of course, last round though over in Bournemouth there's a 2-0 win for Bournemouth back in November 2020. The reverse fixture, of course, a 2-1 for Bournemouth back in August, way back when. So Bournemouth, of course, haven't lost to Forest since a 2-1 win for Forest back in February 2015 in the Championship. Of course, Forest picking up a 1-0 win over Fulham. Of course, Bournemouth with that 3-3 draw against Swansea. Again, the results bearing in mind as well. But that is it. In fact, what is it? The odds, though. Don't know how I have odds here, so odds are in my gut. I'm going to go with the Forest win here to put them in the command seat, driving seat, into the final day. That is it, boys. That is it. Of course, be sure to get involved. Clutterly/Championship is free to enter. Get your name in lights. Become a prediction king as we enter the final game of the season. Be sure to give us some love and please smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe, check links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, also Patreon. But of course, we'll be back for the final game of the season. Also, watch along. Remember, Rovers, Bournemouth this Saturday. I'll be here. Hopefully, you'll be there too. But until then, boys, we're going to be done right now.